The Happy Console Gamer and I went and saw a very spooky movie. It is called Life. It stars Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal and Rebecca Ferguson. What did you think, my friend?
I think they should have called this movie Death because
Yes.
that's how I felt watching it. And I don't mean that in a bad way. This movie was absolutely terrifyingly freaky, man.
It was very, very spooky. Imagine, if you will, somebody sees the movie Gravity,
Exactly.
a fantastic film, and says, you know what would make this even scarier? If we threw in an alien from the movies, the Alien movies, and we let that sort of run around as
Wreak havoc and
Yeah,
terrify everybody.
as a space station is disintegrating and people are dying all over the place.
You know, like the funny thing is, going into this movie, I was saying to Vic, I'm like, oh man, movies like Sunshine and Event Horizon
Yeah.
freak me
Me too.
out.
Me too.
And you were very
And
you-
Alien.
Yeah, an alien,
Yeah.
of course. But you were very calm, and I said, you know what? I might be closing my eyes, during some depressurizing scenes or some terrifying scenes. Okay, I gotta give you this. When we were in the movie, this was Vic.
I was totally, because you know why? I wasn't expecting to be that spooked out. I
know.
thought it was going to be more kind of in the vein of The Martian. There was going to be, because this is a troupe of astronauts that find a little cellular organism that's alive on Mars. They bring it back to life, and I didn't see any of the trailers. I didn't really know. I just knew that it was this star-studded, highfalutin space trip. And I thought it was going to be a little more scientific.
Oh, you thought it was going to be like life. We've discovered life. It's a
little
good thing.
bit more, and then something bad happens. I thought one of them might become, hypnotized or taken over by one of these creatures, but no, it's like Alien, and it's so damn freaky, and it's squishy and gooey. It's gelatinous, gooey, see-through type monster, which is just disgusting. And the way it kills things
is very brutally
Oh
horrifying.
my God!
Like the very first act in the movie, and we won't say what it is.
Yeah.
We were both going, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
this is so hard
Yes.
to take." And the thing is about these types of movies, it goes from bad situation to worse situation
Yes.
to worse to worse to worse
Yes.
to absolute worst to keeps on going. It keeps on getting worse after all. you
Yeah,
know?
no, and you keep wondering, can't you scientists, you very smart astronauts, figure this shit out? Can't you
I know.
take care of something here so you're not all dying one by one?
They were so dumb.
Yeah.
I've never met such stupid astronauts in my life. I'm like, no, why would you do that? Don't do that. And they did that.
It all takes place on a space station, so it's expensive in, I think, some of the visual effects and probably the cast cost, because, you throw in
Ryan
Ryan
Reynolds,
Reynolds,
yeah.
he's pricey, especially after Deadpool. Jake Gyllenhaal, pricey. Rebecca Ferguson's been kicking butt for a while now, and she was amazing in Mission Impossible, so she's, equally good here. And they've also got some other actors that you've seen in other things, also good. But it's really, they're in confined space, so they didn't have to shoot in a bunch of different locations, but they do have to create the illusion of lack of gravity for the entirety. And I thought that was handled really well.
Really well. Never thought about strings or anything holding
No,
anybody up or
no.
any of that or green screen. It looked really good.
And
Well done.
I got to be honest, I'm such a huge fan of this idea of, this technology that we have to go and observe movies that, filmmakers can realize the idea of space travel so effectively. It's really kind of, training our minds to make this kind of more commonplace. But of course, this flips everything on its ear with the idea that, a routine, space mission turns out to be absolutely awful.
Horrific.
Yeah,
Horrific. It's a roller coaster ride that just, as I said, it just keeps on getting worse. When you're going down, you're like, I can't take it anymore. They just dish on some more on
Yes.
there.
Yeah, and a very telling thing that happens when you see a movie like this, because I think we can agree that it's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a movie that you want to end as quick, like, get me out of here. Like, there's a lot of like, oh my God, I can't take this
anymore.
I want to get out. But the theater was pretty much quiet, except for some shock moments.
Except for big
Except for me.
screaming. And you just go,
Yeah.
oh!
I was
like,
freaked out, man. That's the beauty of not knowing what you're walking into. I knew it was in space. I knew it had celebrities in it, but I didn't know it was going to be that scary and that spooky.
I tell you, I knew it was going to be that scary. And I was like, I don't want to go into this movie. I'm going to be scared. And I think because of that, I kind of settled down a bit more because I knew it was going to be so scary.
Yeah.
Where you were like off guard. You're, oh my God, this is that bad. It is.
I hate the creature in this thing. It's very CG, and that bugs me. But I hate that it's like a see-through gelatinous That
You
just
didn't like the monster itself?
well, no, that just scares me more. You know what I mean? It's just like I hate the vision of some goopy, drippy, can sink into every corner and kill from whatever direction it wants to.
Lack of oxygen. I mean, everything went
God.
wrong in this movie for this crew. I mean, they did it to themselves more than anything else.
And the first real death that we see was so horrifying. I don't think I've seen a movie death like that
in a while.
Well, I don't know if I ever had. It was very realistic, and that's the other flip of it, is that with effects like we have today, the idea of trying to make a scientifically accurate movie and then showing somebody getting killed by a space alien is also done
in a very realistic way,
very truthful way, and it's really hard to watch. Like I was like, oh my God, that's disgusting. And there were a few moments like that for sure.
Yeah,
I liked Life. I don't think I ever have to see it again. I will not be buying the Blu-ray.
No, I'll never watch this movie again.
Terrified me, but I still am entranced by space travel.
I think it does what it accomplishes. It scares the hell out of the audience.
Yes.
Everybody was silenced.
Yeah.
So I think it's good in that regard, but it's not like the family movie of the year.
No.
You've got this is grotesque and very disturbing stuff.
It's kind of interesting that Sony's kind of sneaking this in just before Alien Covenant, Like, what are they trying to do to that Fox juggernaut franchise, right? Like, they're totally playing in that sandbox.
And I'm hearing the new Alien is really scary, but we haven't seen it yet. But that's the buzz.
So what are you giving Life?
I don't know, because it's such a scary movie. I think if you want to see something terrifying, something that's really going to freak you out, you want a good date movie.
Right, you want somebody to cuddle up with you?
Yeah. I'd give it, I think, about a 7.5.
7.5. I'm going to go a little higher. It gets an 8 from me, but be warned.
Be warned. It's scary.
Hey, thanks for checking out that video on our EPN channel. It's just one small part of the things that we make around here. So if you liked it, don't forget to check out some of our other vids and hit that subscribe button.